welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, and the industry leaders shaping our future. And in each episode, we'll explore how they're staying ahead in their respective fields, one industry at a time. The retail industry in the Philippines is a major economic driver, especially with the rise of e-commerce and growing competition from foreign merchants. As policies and shopping habits shift, strong leadership and advocacy are crucial to keeping this industry on track and to ensure a level playing field, especially in light of all the recent tax adjustments. Leading this effort is Roberto Claudio, or Bobby Claudio, the president of the Philippine Retailers Association. He joins us now for a closer look at the dynamic retail industry. Hi, Bobby. Thank you for being here with us.
Morning, Maiki. Thank you for having me today.
Okay, we'll start off with the biggest developments in this industry in the form of tax adjustments. I know that you've been cheering two things. First, the 12% VAT on foreign digital services, which was just signed by the president last week. And on another front, the 12% VAT for tourists, that's awaiting the signature of the president. Let's talk about the first one, of course, first. The 12% VAT on foreign digital services. What are your thoughts on this?
First, Maiki, would like to thank the Congress, the Department of Finance, Department of Trade, and the Office of the President for approving this bill. This has been our request for almost 10 years now, since not 10 years, maybe 6 or 7 years since the start of the pandemic. We needed to level the playing field. As you know, over the last, after the pandemic, online consumption boomed in the Philippines, and we cannot blame, because that is really better options for consumers, faster delivery, wider selections, and lowest cost possible. So we felt that yes, it has become an option for the consumer, but the regulations were left behind, and it has created a level playing field. Online players, particularly foreign retail merchants, have been taking advantage and have been enjoying the Philippine market and not paying the value-added tax and the duties that the products that we brick and mortars or traditional retailers in the Philippines have been subjected to. So we really feel that this will now level the playing field, and more importantly, boost the revenues of the government.
With this, more growth in the industry, the retail industry as a whole, and also more revenue for the government. How much of a boost do you think this is going to give the retail sector?
Looking at the volumes, because the only figures that we could see are the sales performance of these various marketplaces, which is in the market. I don't have to name them, but there are quite a few. We have about 8 or 10 marketplaces in the Philippines. And based on their declaration, which is just their 5% commission, because their role is to just meet the buyer and the seller. So the Chinese or the foreign merchants, who are the ones producing the products coming from these countries and being sent to the Philippine consumer, has not been subjected to the value-added tax.
And as I understand, Bobby, after the passage of this, the next thing that comes is, what is the definition of a non-resident digital service? That's something
that's
needs
still
to be sorted
some controversy, and it will come into the preparation of the Intellectual Property Office, with the Department of Finance when they draft the implementing rules and regulations. The retailing scene has really changed, So, and there's so many variations that has to be seen and be appreciated. Manufacturers can go direct to customer, what they call the DTC. There is the omni-channel, where manufacturers go through an online and a brick and mortar option. There's strictly a pure online option, where they go through marketplaces, and several other variations that are in the retailing field.
Okay, and Bobby, going back to the 12% VAT on foreign digital services, the DOF expects this to boost revenue by 100 billion pesos annually. Do you share a similar view?
I share that vision, and in fact, we helped the Department of Finance come up with that estimate of what possibly the government is losing in terms of revenues that are coming from online deliveries that are coming into the Philippines, including the de minimis rule, which means any product below 800 pesos coming in through online are not subjected to customs and duties and customs declaration. So we feel the government should look into this because it has become a giant loophole for smuggling or even under declaring or getting away of not paying the necessary taxes and duties in the Philippines.
Okay, moving forward to the 12% VAT refund for tourists. Finally, the Philippines used to be the only country that didn't have this benefit.
And until the president goes into that signing, yes, we are the only country in Asia that doesn't have that. And maybe that's one reason why our tourism figure suffers in comparison when you look at the tourism arrivals of Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Korea. So we feel that this VAT refund will help really bring in more tourists. The idea is to make that incentive so that foreign tourists makes the Philippines a choice of destination.
Yeah, shopping destination and spending destination.
Exactly. Shopping is the second biggest item of any foreign tourist that goes on the tour. So we should have taken advantage of that a long time ago.
Yeah, so it's going to boost tourist arrivals and it's going to boost the propensity of the tourists to spend once they're here.
Right. At first, there was a problem from the Department of the Finance when they said we may lose revenue. But we never had that revenue because we never had that incentive being given. So no foreign tourists ever came to the Philippines for shopping. So they would always go to Thailand, they will go to other countries.
Shopping, that's economic stimulus that'll cut through all sectors.
Right.
Yeah.
So now it has become an attraction, an incentive for them to come. And if they know they're going to get that tax refund, they may even stay longer, they may eat more, they may travel longer here in the Philippines. So the downstream benefit to even the tricycle driver, the restaurant waiters, who will benefit from all these tourism arrivals.
It's fantastic. How much of an upside are you expecting from this? How much will this boost tourist arrivals?
It may not be in terms of peso amount or dollar amount, but in terms of tourist arrivals. We already reached the 8 million pre-pandemic, and I think this year we may finish about 5 to 6 million, hopefully. But with this VAT refund coming into the picture, we'll see that should reach us back to 8 million or even 10 million in the next 2 to 3 years.
And Bobby, how do you suggest they execute the 12% VAT refund for tourists?
Well, the part of the provision of the law is to contract an international service provider that will manage
for best practice.
There are international service providers that do manage the tax refund system. It has to be efficient and it has to be consumer friendly. We were suggesting to adopt the Singapore version where you just simply show your
That's how it is
passport.
In Japan. You show your passport when you buy and then everything gets inputted,
the documentation, the processing of the fund, and then actual refund either by e-wallet or credit card are done through the international service provider. So it's going to be seamless and frictionless for the consumers when they get their refund.
Okay, interesting. Now, can you talk to us, Bobby, about the evolution of the retail sector in the Philippines? How has it changed in the recent years? What have been the biggest transformations in this industry?
The Philippines naman, 95% of our retailers are on the sari-sari store level. There's mga MSMEs, no? So a lot of our retailers are basically still in the traditional brick and mortar. But the transition, especially after pandemic, where the omni-channel option has now grown, where we define retailing nowadays as serving the customer in whatever way he or she wants. If she tells you, I don't want to go to your store, you deliver it at home at the most convenient and the most convenient time and the least possible cost. And if she says, I want to go to the store, give them the experience. Give them how the products are made. And
it's so much more difficult now to be a retailer.
because you have to you get challenged on all aspects, especially in the new trends developing in retailing, which is AI and personalization. I like to start with personalization.
Okay.
Consumers now are very demanding. They want the shoes that you're the only one who has. So the retailers or manufacturers are challenged to come up with a wider inventory because they want to satisfy every customer that they have. That's called personalization, which is a trend now developing in retail. And then there's also the use of AI. Retailers will definitely be moving into it. We get bombarded with so many data. We get so many information about consumer preference, product specification, but we need to grind this information to make sure that we make the necessary action and decision, what products to sell, what brands, what models, what price points. So all of this, and AI will help us arrive at those decisions because AI adoption will make it easier for the retailers to determine and derive an insight of what the consumer wants.
Yeah, so much going on. Now we're coming into the busiest time of the year for retailers. I mean, in the Philippines, we have the longest holiday season in the world. For us, it begins in September. How important are these months to the retail industry?
Very important. In the past, it has always been our most important part of the year because there are even retailers that do not make money on the first 9 months. It's only in the last 3 months that they make it, and they're very they always look forward to the arrival of the Christmas season. But in the advent of online retailing, that may not happen to the benefit of the brick and mortar because we see growth more on the online category. So the sooner the leveling of the playing field is implemented, the better it is for us to be able to even just cruise along and maintain our levels for the coming Christmas season. So the tax on digital services is going to help. But yes, we do. A lot of, I would say more than 50% of most sales of retailers are derived during the Christmas season. So we look forward to that.
All right, we'll continue this discussion in a bit. Right now, we're going to take a break, and Industry Beacon will be right back. Keep it here on the Bilyonario News Channel. Welcome back to Industry Beacon. Let's continue our discussion with the president of the Philippine Retailers Association, Roberto or Bobby Claudio. Okay, hi Bobby. Let's
Maiki,
continue that discussion. All right, economically, we got a big jump start. Interest rates are coming down. Inflation is cooling. The OFW remittances, as they do seasonally, are coming into fore, and we've got a fairly predictable exchange rate. How is this environment boding for retailers? Since 2022, you guys have experienced 15% growth annually. How are things looking as we finish 2024 and as we come into 2025?
This development are very important that you mentioned, the lower inflation rate, stable foreign exchange currency, higher remittances of the OCWs are really going to be very important in our assessment in the coming year and even this Christmas season. We feel that all of this will really redound to a more consumer spending.
Yeah.
And at the end of 2023, when we were not sure whether the U.S. economy will be in a recession,
so
now that has been almost negated, that they're going to go on a soft landing. So the consumer confidence is now back, and they will not be scared to spend. So over the next few months and even year up to 2026, we're really confident about the growth of the retail industry. We'll continue to contribute about 18% of GDP. 5 million Filipinos are employed in the retail industry in 2023. And if you extrapolate that to 3 dependents per family, That's 15 million Filipinos who are dependent in the retail industry.
That was 15% growth annually since 2022, when we were in a period of high interest rates.
Correct.
Now that interest rates have come down and, you know, a lot of things on the macroeconomic front are really looking good. How much growth are you expecting for 2024?
We are expecting not substantial growth and possibly maintain the 18%, 18 to 19% that we did last year and to continue. But that doesn't mean there is no growth. The growth is coming from online merchants.
Which
So,
you will soon
yeah,
have
retailing
visibility on with the,
Yes. So we'd like that to really be leveled so that the government sees the benefits of or see the revenue loss that it is suffering from, and how the retail industry is growing, but the new retail, as I said, the new retail is already omni-channel. It's no longer just brick and mortar, it's no longer just online, it's both.
Talking about the contribution of this sector to GDP, that's been growing annually by 1 to 2% since 2020. In 2023, that figure was 18.6%. How much do you think this sector is going to contribute in the years ahead, given the tax adjustments?
If the omni-channel will continue to be the future growth of retailing, meaning both brick and mortar and online, we will see that maybe even 2% growth a year will happen. Where it is coming from, it's going to be a test and see how effective the new tax on digital services will be in implementing and monitoring foreign retailers online. Because that's where we are going to see some growth.
Okay, just quickly, your fearless forecast for this industry moving forward. Before we talk about Tobii Sports, we'll sneak in a little bit about that.
For industry, I would expect about 15 to 20% of GDP contribution. Growth-wise, 15%. We are confident that the retail will continue to grow, especially in the Philippines or Asia. I just heard an interview on the retail business in Vietnam. He said because the weather in Asia is hot, so malling will still continue to flourish. So brick and mortars will still benefit from this trend. And while online will be there, it will be a mix of both that will drive the retail industry's growth.
Okay, nice. Okay, on another front, you are also the founder and chairman emeritus of the company that owns one of the country's largest athletic shops, Tobii Sports.
Yes, Maiki.
Given, you know, the lower interest rate environment and all the things going well for the economy, do you think that you're going to continue to hit double-digit growth in 2024 and 2025?
We are still on track towards the target, which we started 2022, 23, and even now in 24. We're very confident about the growth of this category. Worldwide, post-pandemic, the cheapest and the easiest form to remain fit and healthy is to engage in a sport. And it has also developed not just in the Philippines, but it's a worldwide trend. And we would like to capitalize on this development that's going on in the sports business. And it's just not just sports development, not just sports retailing, but including sports development programs, sports event programs.
Yeah,
all
sports.
of these
Just I mean, pickleball,
Yeah.
it's all the rage
Oh,
now, and paddle, more paddle sports.
Pickleball is growing. Practically every major barangay or major village associations already have pickleball association.
And they will all need equipment for this.
And equipment, and then venue. Venue is the most important.
And
so
venue,
we're
that's
challenging
right.
the mall owners to develop more pickleball courts.
With your
in their
bullish
malls.
outlook, we've only got a couple of minutes. With your bullish outlook, any plans for equity partnerships, investments, or are you looking to go public with Tobii Sports?
We continue to look at that option, and in fact, over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been very considering it and looking at the different options available, both from the bank financing side, private equity, and even looking at the IPO. But so far, we have managed to maintain our growth using our internally generated cash, plus possible bank financing. Banks are awash with cash, so they're more than glad to.
Interest rates coming down, lending, yeah, the rate
and
cut
then
in the
the
RRR.
IPO scenario doesn't seem to be attractive at this point because of the stock market doldrums, but it's going to change. But in the meantime, we're preparing the ground and we're looking at all these different options, and we hopefully can arrive at some concrete plans on our growth directions, especially our ramp-up growth plans for 2025 and by 2026.
Okay, we'll have to have another discussion next year on
Sure.
that. All right, thank you so much for your time, Bobby.
Thank you, Maiki. Thank you for having me.
And that's it for today's show. I'm Maiki Oreta. Catch the Billionario News Channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thank you for watching the Billionario News Channel, always on top.